Hello, I hope you're ready to letter again. So I have shown, here's some paintings, some Christmas paintings from my young budding artist. So that I'm going to package up and send to, here's a snowman holding a scary baby snowman. I'm not really sure. We might cut that off and just send the Christmas tree to grandparents and to friends. But I just had to show you some of my little artists. I am currently working on, you can see this little house over here. This is a glass table. But I'm working on a bunch of little presents for Christmas, which is really fun. I love it. And in fact, I'm still, if you can see this, I'm still in my jammies because my sweet husband took the kids to school today. And so I got to stay home and, which is very, it's just a rare treat to be able to be home alone and painting. So I'm glad to be painting with you today. So today you're going to need your watercolors. If you have an iPad, there's a app called Procreate, and we're going to need this brush, a medium-sized brush. Sorry, I'm going back and forth, and a tiny brush. So there's an app called Procreate. Oh, and a pencil. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So, but we're going to need all those things. But if you have an app called Procreate and then there's an Apple Pencil, I think we'll probably try to do that tomorrow. You can still use watercolor, but it's just a different little medium that some people may enjoy if you already have those tools. So at church, we have been in the book of Colossians now for a few months, and it is so rich with so much. But today I wanted to do kind of a manger scene with the verse 17, which has been kind of my verse I've been clinging to here lately. It says, "He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." And I feel like right now I've been needing to be held together because I've been undone. And so when we feel undone, he is before all things. He's already been there. He knows what's going to happen. And in him, all things hold together. And so anyway, that was just so encouraging to me. And then all over Colossians, as you can see, I have notes everywhere. But this one in particular just struck me. This is not what we're painting today, but Colossians 4, 5, and 6. "Be wise in the way you act towards outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity." And I feel like right now we have such an opportunity to be a light in darkness. We have such an opportunity to love your neighbor for real, just literally loving your neighbor because we're home most of the time. "Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." And I feel like right now a lot of us might be on the edge of, whatever. If we're, as far as our stress levels are already there, we're already over the edge. And so it's easy just to kind of overflow with things that are not of the Lord. And so, anyway, I was so encouraged because I thought joy always be full of grace, seasoned with salt, seasoned with the truth of God. So anyway, there's just a side note. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're going to start with a pencil. I'm going to flip my paper. We're going to do a vertical painting today. You could also, if you wanted, fold your paper in half, make a little card and mail it to someone, as helping them look up to God's word and then look out to who needs to be loved right now. So this is going to be kind of a very messy sketch. So if you like to start in pencil, this is the day for you. So what I'm doing right now, I'm doing two kind of parallel lines. They're sort of going out. They're not perfectly straight. Okay. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a little roof over here. And again, I'm doing it a little curved just so it looks a little artsy, I guess is the word. And I'm going to make it a little shorter of a building. Okay, so then we're going to come down here and we're going to do a bunch of scribbles, which are essentially going to be hay. Okay. So again, this is our scribble drawing. So if you like to scribble or doodle, this is your day. Now up here, we're going to do a straight line coming all the way down about an inch under that roof line. And we're going to come up here, make almost a little cross right here. Look, it looks like a little church. It's not going to be a church, but that's a good foreshadowing. We're going to come back over here, make an X through that cross. This is going to be our star. So essentially, and then I'm going to just do little lines out for our scribble drawing. Okay, so here's our scribble drawing. This is going to be our stable. This is going to be, let's see here. Then we're going to do a little manger. So the way we're going to do our manger is we're going to come in here and we're going to do just a little curved line right here. Okay, nothing extravagant. And then give it 2 little legs. And let's put a little bit of hay around that manger. Just right there. And then we're going to essentially do 2 half circles. One small, and then I'm going to start by this small one and do another big one, half circle. And that's our baby Jesus. So this is kind of a very simple version of the manger scene of the nativity. So it's just Jesus in there, and that's all we're going to keep it at. Okay, so next I would like to go ahead and grab your tiny brush. So we're going to just leave this for a minute. We're not going to paint it just yet. And we're going to grab our paintbrush, and here we go. I wish you were here with me. I could make us a cup of tea and we could just doodle together. So he is before all things. We're going to start over here, and I'm going to write, if you wanted to make a little half moon, like a half circle right here, very lightly where you could erase it, that would be a good guideline. So here we go. And I'm just going to use my cursive. And on my H, you can see I try to do as many curly cues as possible. And even on the crossbar, I'm going to make that curly. He is, let's see. I wish that I had moved this a little farther over. I didn't really want to get in my star, but I guess I'll just have to do it, won't I? This shows you how I am definitely not always going to do this perfectly. He is before. So I'd rather not go over that star, but it's going to be fine. And then all things, I would like to do all in capitals, just to remind myself he's already been there. There's nothing no plan of his can be thwarted. There's nothing that surprises him like it surprises me or scares me if I don't know what the outcome is. I'm going to do a crossbar on my T and loop around that H. And then this is kind of silly. It's one of my new favorite G's. I'm going to come down, around, and then back up. So I know that that's a lot of curly cues. Don't feel like you have to do that. You can just go down and back up for your S. But to me, it's just fun. It just adds a little bit of fun right there. So in between here, I'm going to do a little dot just for fun to add a little bit of different element. I'm going to bring one down here and here. You can come back and thicken your downstroke for your foligraphy. And remember, make sure your paintbrush is plenty wet. We don't want the paint just goes on better when there's more water involved. Okay, before all things. And I didn't say this, but I did thicken one of those lines on the all whenever I was doing it. I was probably talking about something else. So I'm thickening my downstroke. I'm also going to make coloring sheets of all these. And so if you have a young artist that would like to paint, you could just print those off and have them color them. And in him all things. So I'm going to do and in him all things right here. Let's see, and again, if I'm following my hay line. As you can see, this is kind of a half circle. I'm following that hay line for this cursive. So I have my cursive going, and in him, that's cool. Him is right below Jesus. Perfect. I didn't plan that. All things okay. Something I like working on whenever I'm doing like an 8x10, I like working with this paper. Do that big curly Q T cross. Sometimes I use a piece of glass. So I bring an 8x10 piece of glass. I don't know if you can see this just out of a frame, and I can measure and see what I have to work with. And so really I see like I need to end my words right about here. So I did a little line right there where I need to make sure that my words are finished so that it will sit in a frame. So I just got like a frame at the Dollar Tree and keep the glass out. It's probably very dangerous. If you have small children, do not do that. Okay. Okay. Got my Christmas tunes going. So I'm thickening my downstroke, creating that faux calligraphy look. And then I'm going to come back. That one looks pretty good. And do my little dots in between. And I'm just kind of stringing together the words to make it look like, okay, this is all one little string. So kind of following, you're almost making a dot to dot without using the lines. Okay. He is before all things, and in him all things. And then I'm going to write hold together under here, but I'm going to try to space it out as far as I can. I'm going to try to lengthen those words. So hold. Because usually this is kind of my normal cursive, but right here I'm going to try to I'm just stretching it out. So it will fill that space. Hopefully I will not misspell it. Okay. I'm going to sweep that around like I did it on the first try, but I didn't. Sweep this one. So I'm just going back over my letters, thickening my downstroke. Okay. Now, let's see if we can get that. Perfect. Okay. Now what I'd like to do, go ahead and sign at the bottom. Sign your name. I'm not quite done, but okay. And then right here, I'm going to write Colossians. Let me make sure I spelled that right. If you know me well, you'll know that I've misspelled many things, many on video. Okay. So I'm going to take my middle brush now, a middle shape brush, and I'm going to start with the skin tone right here. And let's see, there we go. Got a little water right there. I'm going to let that kind of dry because I don't want, of all the things I don't want to bleed, I don't want that to bleed. So now I'm just coming in and I'm kind of just coloring over my my hay. So I put the color at the top, and I'm just going to very messy, come in here and cover all my scribblings. So again, if you like to scribble, this one's for you. Because we're just looking for a little artsiness right here. Okay, now over my stable, I'm going to come in with a about 1/2 inch brush, and I'm just going to use a little brownish gray, again covering my scribbles. And it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I feel like the more imperfect it looks, like I just feel like it looks fun. So we're gonna let that dry a little bit. I'm gonna come in here, do a little bit of the manger. Now I'm gonna come back up here with some yellow for my star, and hopefully these words are already dry. So what I'd like to do is come in here. If it bleeds a little bit with the roof line, I think that's fine. But I'm gonna come around my before. And again, if you have wording there, that's fine. If you use a Sharpie, it shouldn't bleed at all. So I'm getting all of that, and I'm even gonna come out here with a few little, I don't know, little boops. Boop. You have to say that while you do it. Boop, 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 boop. That's what real artists do. So essentially right now we're making a little, what is it, Starry Night, little Van Gogh right up there, okay? He is before all things. And I'm gonna add a little bit of darker yellow in here just to add a little bit of dimension to my star, okay? Now I'm gonna add blue. I think I always go to blue. But for the inside of my manger, I'm gonna add blue and then just continue to add some water. And again, if it bleeds, the only thing I really don't want it to bleed with is my baby Jesus. Just for aesthetics. I'm gonna go all the way around and try to get as close as I can without touching everything. Okay, so he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. So once this dries, you could probably take a little fine point Sharpie or your tiny brush again and kind of come in and do part of it, like just kind of highlight part of it. But I think it looks fine just with the pencil as well. And actually, I'm gonna come back with a little darker blue just because I feel like it's bothering me. I'm gonna do, I know he probably was not dressed in blue. I know that swaddling clothes were not blue, but I didn't want him to look naked. So, okay, so here we go. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. I hope you have a great day.